Wie wär's mit 50% sparen?
Wie wär's mit Volt? Wie wär's mit Volt?
Wie wär's mit 50% sparen?
Wie wär's mit Volt?
Okay, hello there. Do we have working sound? Yes, we do. Nice, thank you very much, Rogue Citizen. Alright. Good evening, everyone. Let's start exactly, almost exactly where we left off. So, where do I start? Last time we did the coloring of the exterior. I have since then just put some more texture on, so it's a bit uneven, the surface, but that's all the work I want to put in the exterior for now. Today I want to do the start the interior with you. And then see how far we get today. We definitely need to get further than last time, but that should not be a big problem. Anything I wanted to say? Yeah, on Friday... I don't have the time. Timing is a bit weird. Oh, thank you. I'll turn the audio down a bit. Let me know if that's better. This Friday, or basically it's hard to say. For me it's Friday at midnight. It's Friday to Saturday, so I'll give you the time and dates later. But anyway, this Friday to Saturday in the middle of the night, I'm going to join Execute and Grim on the Info Runners for a 3 hours ship talk, as it seems, where we're just going to speculate a bit what's going to happen at the Invictus, and I don't really know. Execute made the schedule. He just asked me to join, and we'll see. Alright. As always, questions very welcome. I saw the first one. How long have you been using Blender? Not too long, honestly. I started Blender a little over 2 years ago when I started doing stuff for Star Citizen. Before that, I have used a bunch of other 3D software. I have used most other 3D software at some time in the past, but I have always been focused on Macs. But then when I wanted to do it free, I wanted to try give Blender one more try, because people said it got pretty good, and I think it got pretty good. And so I never went back, and I never want to go back. Even though, since we're on that, I always tell people if they ask me which software they should use. If you want to work in the industry, I'm not sure Blender is the best choice. It's definitely the best choice if you do it for fun, but it is not as widely used in the film industry, and I don't think in the gaming industry either. So if you want to make a living out of it, maybe learn something bigger. Even though Blender is pretty similar to the other ones, so you'll be easily getting used to the other ones. This is 4.2.3. Volume is a bit low. Which volume? My microphone? Oh, that's a shame, because I have it on max, unfortunately. Oh, we had that problem in the past. I can try to fix that for 1 second, but if I don't get it fixed in 1 second... Oh no, I think I found something. There we go. Is that better for you? Let me know if it's over... What is it called? If it's clipping, if it's too loud now. Test. Because it sometimes goes in the red, but last time you people did not seem to mind. Yep, it's clipping. Oh, it's awesome. Okay, good. So we're all set up. Nice. Thank you very much. I perfectly prepared everything here before the stream. Restarted my PC once, and Windows changed everything, including my headphones, audio, everything. Everything went back to something. Anyway, thanks a lot. And now let's have a look at our Ironclad. I wasn't sure what I was going to start with. Obviously, we will have to open the ceiling at some point. But I figured maybe we start doing the interior first, so we have something to open the ceiling up to, if that makes sense. So unless you completely protest and tell me to do the ceiling first, I start with basically the floor layout. And that is also something that makes more sense, because the ceiling I will have to completely redo at some point, just because I want to share this interior with you at some point, so you can walk around for yourself, and I can't use the exterior assets because they are CIGs. Okay. So, I only said last time, I'm not sure if I explained it. I'll explain it again. So what I've done already is I have aligned a camera that perfectly matches this concept art. And by perfectly, I obviously mean not perfectly, but I would say it's 99% accurate. So that is a mixture of getting the position of the camera right and the angle, but also the focal length, because it's not a perfect even number, unfortunately. And so now I have it lined up, so if you look at these details, it lines up pretty good. Obviously not everywhere, because some of the objects are different from the holoviewer model to what they have been using, but the overall scale, especially for these railings, should be pretty much identical. And so this really matches now. Here you can see that parts of these railings are missing in my model, but that doesn't really matter. So if the scale is right, and that is the important part here, then I can now use that to model from this perspective and get it matching with whatever they were using. And for this one I had to be even more accurate than before with the other ships, especially like I did the what's the small one? The Anvil Paladin. The Paladin is so much smaller than, even if I'm off by like 10%, it doesn't really matter about the size. But here, if I'm off by like 5%, then it's already like half a meter or more that I'm off, and that won't work. So with the alignment I have right now, I think my model should be not off by more than like 5 or 10 centimeters in places, and that's accurate enough for me. And so now that I have this camera, the only issue I have that I need some object where I know the exact height of. And there isn't really one, because I don't have any interior places. So it could always be on different places in depth. But there's this one place here, which I can use, this balcony, the top side of that. That's a completely flat surface. And since I have the model here, I know the exact height of that. And so if I match that, I can model from there. All right. So I'm not using Octane. No, I currently render everything with just cycles. And if I ever have to render something like realistically, I'm using Redshift. Oh, hey, Execute is here. I assume Execute is running the Inforunners channel. I just announced the thing we have this Friday. And as you can see, I have tried to set up the visualizer. All right. Let's just start with a flat surface. And let's put that flat surface exactly where our balcony is, height-wise. And if we switch back to the camera now, we could hopefully see that this aligns pretty well. At this point, we obviously only have this small part here, and so now what I'm going to do is switch that image for the interior. Fortunately, these two images, I checked that before obviously, the outlines match perfectly, so they just took the two images from the same camera, and that means now I can model along this with my aligned camera. And now I'm going to just hide the main ship, and now we can see that our floor is already matching pretty well, that the entrance that I just put there is pretty much exactly where they have the different walls, And so if I just model along the X and Y axes, then it should perfectly follow what they have been doing, because my camera is now basically the same. There we go. Do you plan to make the Kraken for the next one? I'm not sure. I just got the model of the Kraken, the not the game model, but the show model from the cinematic model they used at the I think it was IE back then. And the detailing is crazy on that already. It's so big, I could never finish that. Having the exterior, just doing the interior, I'm currently thinking about it, but let's finish this Drake one first, and then we'll see if I'm interested in another big Drake ship. But obviously I'm super excited for the Kraken. But another reason why I'm anxious to do it is because I think the interior might change quite a lot. So for this one, I think my blueprint will be pretty accurate because they had it so close to starting development. But the Kraken, I think that is a very old design and will change quite a bit. I mean, it might still be interesting to have an early look, but let's just finish this one first. Oh, Maybach spec, that's perfect timing. Happy that that worked out for you. We just started building, so nothing missed. No, I don't even agree with you. I don't think Drake is the best manufacturer. I think there are so many great manufacturers in this universe that I can't pick. I like plenty of them. Okay, now we are already at the first obstacle, which is this doorway. And for this one, I want to do something special before I continue, because, I mean, basically for the next 2 hours, I'm going to continue doing this floor plan. That is quite boring. Well, I'm not sure if it's boring. I enjoy it. But I would like to do the doorways first, because I already noticed that there are so many doors in this thing. They are everywhere. And so I better set something up for placing them now, before I have to do it 50 times by hand. Okay, and for that, that was German actually. So I have 2 doorways here, and let's, for just 1 second, assume there's another one here, which there isn't. Let's do something a bit more complex before I continue for the next 2 hours. I have already brought in a door that is of the Corsair. Not of the in-game Corsair, but of an older holoviewer model. But I like it a lot with the window in the door. So it's already at the right scale. So and not only right scale, it's also the very same aspect ratio as the doors on this ship, so it should be fitting pretty perfectly. And now we could do everything manually, and that would probably be faster, to be honest. But there's a pretty amazing new tool in Blender that is, I mean, by now it's in for 1.5 or 2 years, but we have something called geometry nodes, and I have been using that on the Arcorp office for placing screws in all the objects. And so I'm going to build something quickly that automatically places doors where I want them to be. And for that, basically this is my model, and you can select selections, like vertice selections, add them into a group, and I call this doors. So now these are forever selected as my... Now they are forever selected as my door markers. And now onto this object I'm going to add some geometry nodes. And these nodes are basically a way of modeling where you don't destroy something. So whatever I do in here, I can go back to days later and fix every single step. And basically this is my mesh as it is right here, and this is the output of the whole thing. And I'm going to add, I want to add the door in here. So I'm going to need an object info node, and I can pick my door. And I could switch this. Now I have the door here instead. Or I could use both. Now I have my door and my base geometry. Now I want to place my door on specific places, and for that I'm going to spawn some points on here and then place my objects on that. There's a mesh to points node, and that is going to place these points everywhere on my mesh. Right now they are on every corner. I want to change that to every face. And now this is not too bad. You can see that it's in the middle where I want the door to be, but it's everywhere. And so now I bring in a selection here, and that selection is what I just defined as the doors. So now it's only here. Unfortunately, you see that I now have 3 placements here, even though I just selected these ones. And that's because it basically places it on every face that is connected to my points, and that's not really what I want. If I put it back to faces, it's also on these 2. I could separate that to be in the middle, but then it would not know the direction of... Basically, a point doesn't have a direction, and I need doors to face into either direction. So I have to do it a bit different. Actually, we can use this for now to spawn the doors. So you see what I'm doing here. No, that's wrong. Okay, so I have my points, and on my points I want to instance my doors. These are the points. This is the instance. And now I have doors there. But yeah, as I just said, they are now on the sides. And if I also selected, that's why I placed this here. If I also select these doors would all face the same. And I don't know a way to fix that. So what I'm going to do, it's a bit dirty, but it's fine. I'm going to make one edge where I want my door to be. And then I'm going to extrude that edge. And these edges I now set as my doors. That's obviously not exactly what I want, but we're getting there. So first, I don't actually want these walls here, I just want them for the placement. So I'm going to delete them again. And deleting means hiding them. It's not really touching the geometry, that's the cool part about it. So I'm going to take my geometry. Whoop. And cutting off my selection. Now it's gone, but these are still placed where I wanted them to be placed. And now they're obviously too high up in the air, so we can easily fix that by using a transform. Boop. Okay, and now I need the orientation basically of the faces where I place them from. And so I'm going to the orientation of a face is basically its normal. So I get the normal and I get a capture attribute. And I'm going to capture the attribute, the normal of my base geometry before I put the points. And now these points know the direction where they are facing. And I can use that to align their vector into the rotation of my door. Now this is obviously not right, but if I select the right axes, they all face the right direction. And now I just want them on the edges. No, that's not working. I want them on the faces, and I think then the axis is wrong here. There we go. Oh, and now I offsetted it too much. It's minus 0.5. Okay, now they're all on the perfect position. I can easily change that afterwards. By just sliding this face. And I can super easily add more doors whenever I need to. That's a bit tricky to set up, but it will save me a lot of time later. And now we can already test that by placing these at the right place. Oh, that's a bit tricky because I don't have mine are not going to the sides of the wall, but basically I have to look at this part here. Okay, now this door is good. And this one is, if I put it here. Okay. Wow. That was the tricky part, and now we just extend this to finish the whole ship, basically. Actually, since the ship is mostly symmetrical, I'm going to just model half of it. Oh. Is it symmetrical though? Oh, the ship is, but I might not have it. Oh, that's annoying. I have not centered, I have this centered around the mass of the ship and not... Ooh, I would have to move everything. But I have to do that. That's important. However, it's always pretty tricky with these. I'm not sure if I can do that. Issue right now is that the center of my Ironclad is the center of gravity, which takes into account this stuff on the side, so it's somewhere here and not in the middle. And I don't always know perfectly well where the middle is, because these holoviewer models are always a bit inaccurate when it comes to, well, the middle. So I guess I have to... I can change my cursor, but I would like my scene to be mirrored around the center of the ship. But I would have to... Nah, I should have done that earlier. I'm not going to change that now. I am going to make an artificial center for that I'm not going to touch. So I think these are in the middle. Let's just hope these are in the middle. So these four we're going to try in a few different places because I want this to be accurate. So these four faces are at 2.6 whatever meters. And I have these axes in the middle that was going to be the controller for the whole ship. So let's put it there. And then check on some other places if they are on the same 2.6 center. See? Oh, okay, this is not... This is why it's so hard, because this piece should be symmetrical, but in the model it's not, because there's this piece on the side here. So I can't use that. That's annoying. Maybe these ones. 2.62. $3.4. You are not symmetrical. Is this one in the middle? Yeah, 2.6, pretty much. Okay, you can already see that right here it's not perfectly centered. Nothing on this ship is perfectly centered. Even if it's supposed to be, it's just the holoviewer model, and they just when they are done and preparing it for the holoviewer model, they just use some kind of modifier that shrinks down deletes random polygons to reduce the quality, and things like these happen where just stuff overlaps and is not perfectly accurate anymore. Yeah, the engines should be centered, but the engines are in 2.60, and this should also be perfectly centered, and it's a 2.62. So we are off by 20 centimeters from tail to nose. Yeah, geodecimal, that's the what I was using. And also their holoviewer models are always like rotated and tilted just a tiny bit, like always by like 0.6 degrees or something, but they are always rotated. They are never complete. I have already corrected this as best as I could, but it's never perfectly straight and aligned and everything, unfortunately. So we're just going to make a guess here. Those circular hedges on the rear third. These ones? .69. That's another completely different value. .2. Let's go with the center of this top, because let's go with the ceiling, because that's the closest we wanted. We want to, right now I need it for the center of the hangar, and so the closest to that is obviously the top of the hangar. So let's make it mirror around the center of this here. I mean, let's face it, this is never going to be 100% accurate, but if we're getting close to like in the realm of half a meter, then I'm fine with that. Okay, so this is now our new 0, and where's my floor? And that should now be in the center. Let's see what my image says to that. That's pretty good. It needed to be in the center of this, because I assume this is in the center. No, actually, no, it's in the center, like at least pretty much in the center. I made another scan of the whole thing before, and this should be pretty much in the center, and to me it looks like it is. It's good. Good news. Is there a method to make all the veilers the same? I'm afraid I don't know what veilers are. Let me translate that. No. I only know the meaning of veiler values. Right. Is there a method to make all the values the same? Not now, not afterwards. There is when I build the thing. When I build it, I always try to use these accurate numbers wherever I can. As you can see, I only move stuff. If I place my walls and everything, I don't move them wherever. I just move them around one axis at a time, so that every line will forever be perfectly straight. And if you do that from the beginning, then you can have a perfectly aligned ship where the middle is the middle throughout. But again, this is all of your model. It has been turned, it has been tilted, it has been kit bashed. It wasn't the point of this model to be accurate, and so I have to deal with it, unfortunately. If I wanted to fix it afterwards, I mean, there's no point of reference. I don't know which of the ones is supposed to be perfectly in the middle. And again, it doesn't really matter. Let's be honest. So here's a wall. I don't know where to place that, unfortunately. We have to look at the other side and then other views later. But here... I now actually want to see how good that aligns. So I'm going to put one edge here on the outer edge of this thing, and this is the front side of it. I'm using Blender. And now if I mirror the whole thing, around the axis that I just placed, then you can see that it's perfectly well on this edge. And here, yeah, I'm now off by... How much is that? I can actually... No, I can't check right now. Let's say 40 centimeters. Let's say half a meter. That's okay for me. But it could also mean that this elevator is not perfectly in the middle. Maybe it's not supposed to be perfectly in the middle. There's no way to know, because I mean the bridge, I'm not sure if the bridge is perfectly in the middle. So I'm not going to assume anything. I'm just going to not mirror the whole thing. I'm going to do for now, but later I'm just going to put it here and make it as accurate to the blueprint as I can. But first, no, actually, I'll fix that later. The lines are floor level, yes. As you can see, they... Well, I'm assuming that there is no height difference from here to here. If there is like one little step here, then I will obviously be off now. That would be annoying. You know what? I'm going to... switch software for a second and have a look at the ISC where they showed the interior. What a note. Perhaps the Zeus Mark III could be a fun little side project in the future. Yeah, sure. Whenever I need another little side project from this and the Kraken, I can do the... Actually, yeah, I know what you mean. You want a second floor. But I'm more interested in doing ships that are not out yet. I mean, changing... well, sometimes I do that too. No, yeah, you're right. But right now I try to focus on things that are not out yet, that we haven't seen. Let me just quickly set up a new scene for you so you can see my editing. go. I mean, I could have opened just a player, but I have already cut it down into all the different views we have of the interior. And so what we are looking for is if here is some kind of step or some height difference. Also, does this does not seem 100% centered to me, or is it? What would you say? Is this 100% in the center of this? Or is this off a bit to the side? It's a bit hard to say, there's not really much reference. Okay, but we can see that the room on the left is deeper than this one, so that's interesting for me right now too. Oh, and there does not seem to... Oh, that's perfect. That's just a glimpse on what I wanted to see. There's the door that I modeled, and as you can see, the floor is on the same level throughout the whole ship. And here we can't see it because there's the ceiling above it. Yeah, okay, good. So I might be off by a few centimeters. I'm fine with that, but now we know that the height is from here the same throughout the whole hangar thing. Also, I see different opinions on if this thing is centered or not. I would say it's hard to say. Okay, so I said earlier I don't know where these walls are, and I still don't know accurately, but I'm going to do a quick and dirty one for now. So this one goes maybe only to here, and then this one goes further. But it still is mirrored. I'm going to finish this here because that looks mirrored, and then I'm going to break off the mirror and change the other side a bit. Are these crates sticking in the floor? I think they are. It's not good. And they are also overhanging. This is also... The flooring seems pretty bad to place boxes. That's pretty good. Not perfect, but it's pretty good. Yeah, the rail seems to be conflicting, and then also here's this drop. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Maybe you're not supposed to walk here. I'm not sure if I'm going to recreate the different levels here. I'm not sure if that makes sense. Maybe I'll have another look at the artworks later, but for now I just want to get the floor plan somewhat working. Okay, that's enough symmetry work for me. And now we can place another door. Somewhere here. See, already helpful. And now again, I'm not sure how far this room extends right now, but it's definitely further than I can see from here, so I have to go back to the other images at some point. But that's already an important part of the layout, and I think we deserve a tiny little look inside. Brizzo, we're not chasing any hypothesis. I'm actually trying to rebuilding the whole thing and... Oh, sorry. Why are you modeling the interior? Just for fun. No, for science. Yeah, actually, I think that's the right answer. No, I want to rebuild the whole interior because I want to walk around it and tour it and show it before it's out. If I can. Where is it? Okay. So, this is our balcony. This will be a staircase one day. And this will be a door someday. And this will be... Oh, it's so big. You can already tell, even though there's nothing here but a plane. But it's so big. Chronic, yeah, sure, I know I have the video of the interior. But I'm using that as a reference, but I can't really extract their work from that, unfortunately. So this here is the most accurate way, and then I'm going to have a look at the other one later to finish the areas that I can't 100% see, or for detail work and stuff. But yeah, this is to make the base as accurate as possible. So I'm sprinting through the whole thing, and it is massive. How do you walk around like that in scene? There's a tool in Blender which you can use view navigation, and then you have fly and walk navigation. And I have adjusted some of the settings so it works nice, but generally you can just walk around and it uses gravity, and obviously it's not like it will break whenever you try to walk in a door or something, but it gives you a good first impression of how it looks like. And for the scale, I think, because yeah, the hangar is pretty big. Is there a site that these Star Citizenships has these Star Citizenships I can open and look around in Blender? No, and there will never be. You would have to get them for yourself, unfortunately. You can pretty easily get the holoviewer models from the website. There's guides for that on Reddit. Basically, you have to go and open the holoviewer and then go into the source code of the web page, and you can find the 3D model in there. And you have to convert it, and then you can use it, but it's just a holoviewer model. And if you want to have the high-res game models, then it's a bit trickier. There's a tool for that. But you will have to find and get all of that by yourself. CIG is pretty open to that, because they like us doing things with and for their game. But we can't share their models around. So you can extract them for yourself and do what you want with it, but you can't share anything. So there will never be a web page where you can download them. And if people do that, then we are going to be forbidden at some point to do this. So basically all people I know in the scene try to stick to that code where you don't send and share stuff around. Do you need colliders on the plane? No, it just uses the geometry that you build as colliders. What kind of ships do you think will fit in there? Yeah, that's the question we can now answer. Chronic you, how do we extract the models? For the holoviewer models, you go to the website, you go to the ship you want to get. You go to the, I don't know the button exactly. Let me open it right now. Let's say the Drake Golem. So you go to the RSI website, go to your Golem page, and then on the bottom, no, it does not have to, it's not the store page, but the information page. Yeah, where at the bottom somewhere you have this big chart with the technical overview and the specifications, and in the middle you have the holoviewer. And if you click that, it will load the holoviewer in. You can see the model, you can rotate it, and then you can go to your web browsers. If you use Firefox, you go to the 3 lines in the top corner. More tools, page source. If you're on Chrome, however, you open page source. And then in the page source, you just look for 3D. And there will be a 3D model somewhere. It usually is a... Yeah, you can use for model, look for model underscore 3D. There's a link with a CTM file at the end. And you copy that link, put it in the top of your browser, and it will download that file for you. Then again, you have to convert it, but that's pretty easy. And then you can use it. So now we can talk about what fits in this thing. So Vulture is obviously the questions that I guess most people ask themselves. Before I do that though, let's get several vultures. I think so too, at least one for sure, but let's see. Let's open the roof too. So we can, I mean, we don't only need to know if it fits the hangar, but also if it can go through the ceiling, right? So I have to take out the... well, the ceiling. Oh god, this might take a second. It's trying to crash right now. Let's hope it doesn't. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, safe. Is there a safer way to select all these? Actually, how far does it open? I have no idea. That was somewhere in the episode, right? Can someone help me? And let me know where the... I think there was an animation of the ceiling opening in the ISC somewhere. Can you tell me where that was? Or if I'm mistaken. Or did I just imagine that and it was never shown? Just on the pictures? I don't know. I'm sorry, if you know where it is, the part where you can see the ceiling opening, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm just working from this image now. I mean, all I really need to know is how far it opens. And it looks to me like it goes until the tractor beam here, so this means up till... no, that's too far. No, actually, up till here, right? This part too should... could also be here, it's hard to say. Well, I don't know. No one knows. Sorry. So I assume it opens till here. I don't... On the image it looked like the tractor beams are on some kind of rail that slides over. Let me switch back once more. There you can see it moving on that rail. Oh, that's not... Is it a tractor beam? Yeah, looks like a second. I don't know what that is actually. Yeah, okay. So there's a tractor beam moving on this rail system here. And that is unfortunately not in the model. They took that out. It's just the floating thing. Yeah, but back to my own question, I think this is all part of the ceiling. And while my computer breaks down... Oh, actually it works. I just wanted to say I'm going to take a second to catch up with chat. That's not the nice animation you wanted, but there you can see it sliding. What is that? Is that a flaw? There looks to be a flaw inside the model. That's really helpful. There actually is a flaw in the holoviewer model, and as you can see, mine is off by... Now I want to know exactly how far I'm off. My model is off by, drumroll, 30 centimeters. That's not too bad. I'm going to fix that, but 30 centimeters I can live with that. Okay, before I continue, I said I'm going to catch up with chat. I'm super sorry I can't do that at the same time. You would help me in the future if you do this streamer thing I saw on other streamers where you put this question in brackets if you have a question. And if you write question correctly, unlike me, then that's even easier to read. Where was I? Control F every 30 seconds. Actually, this is something I'm going to do right now. Thank you. What's your PC specs? I need to know if my rig is powerful enough. I don't have the most powerful rig. I have some 4 or 5 yearish old 12 core AMD CPU. I think it's a 3090. I have only 32 gigs of RAM. That's enough for this, and I have just upgraded to a 5070 Ti. But I have been using a 3070 until last week, and it does not make a difference in this kind of work. It makes a difference when you render, but for working 3070, absolutely fine. You don't need high-end hardware to do any of this. Actually, we saw that last week. I had stuttering issues, even though neither my RAM nor my VRAM, nothing is really maxed out. It's just a software limitation at this point. You can't buy yourself out of these little software glitches. not glitches, but a model of this dimension polygon-wise is already tackling Blender at some points, and I don't think a 4090 or 5090 would have made this any faster. So you don't need to have the best hardware. That's what I'm saying. You should put a lot of Drake industrial ships in. Yeah, that's what we're going to do right now. After you build it, are you going to do a fan concept video like you did with the Galaxy? Yeah, absolutely. That's the point. Even though I'm not sure if I can, because I mean, it can still. Maybe the ship comes out at Invictus. I don't really think so anymore. But if it does, I will not be able to finish this, obviously. I will try to have some kind of preview for Invictus if I can. And then if it's not coming out, I'm going to finish it throughout the next half year. Tractor's going to move. We talked about that. I assume the open roof has a force field emitter to maintain atmosphere. I thought about that too. I don't know. I'm not sure if that was answered, or if you have to run around in helmets. Top shot. Hope they just stick them on the corners for that. Oh, you're all talking about the... I would actually like moving tractor beams, but I know what you're saying. It obviously is a source for problems if things don't work properly. But just immersion-wise, it would be cool if they have these moving tractors here. Moving tracks here for the tractors. 30 centimeters off. Yes, I'm going to give up now. Will you ever take a look at the Constellation series and possibly redesigning the interior, exterior, or both? I'm not going to say no, but there are so many ships that have... where we don't have anything. Like, I guess right now I would focus on ships that are... where we haven't really seen the interior. So... obviously, you talked about the Kraken, we talked about the Odyssey at some point, we talked about the Arastra. Every now and then I just get an idea that I want to work on something, and then I do. But generally speaking, I would usually be more interested in ships that are not out yet. Can I try to recruit you for my corporation? Corporation as in org or as in company working wise? I'm afraid I have a job. I actually have more than one. But if it's just a fun project, well, truth is I don't have time, most likely, because as you can see, I'm already spending the last few minutes I have on this. But you can always get in touch on Discord and then we can see. I beg the Constellation question. A modernize. Yeah, I'm interested in an overworked Corny absolutely too, but I'm just not sure if I shouldn't focus on stuff we haven't seen at all, because they are not going to... I assume they have already plans for a Constellation Mark 3 or whatever we're on now. Blender will run on a potato, that's true. Watching this makes me thirsty. Okay. In what way? I'm not sure what to think about that. Would see more Drake like if the entire area was not pressurized. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think other ships might be pressurized, but if there's any ship that is not pressurized, I would assume it's this one. Kinda hope the Ironclad doesn't have an atmosphere shield. Yeah, same. That's what I said. Arastra would be wild. Ironclad has been confirmed to not have an Atmos shield. Oh, really? Can you tell me where that was confirmed? That's interesting information for my video at some point. There you have the hangar doors modeled in the official video. I'm not sure what you mean. Which hangar doors? The top ones? Where? Where do I have them? I saw the doors and I saw them close, but I've never seen them moving or anything. A corporation in Star Citizen is like a guild on WoW. Isn't an orc in Star Citizen what a guild is in WoW? Okay. I managed to finish my questions. So let's have a look at how many ships we can have inside. First I'm going to adjust the height of my floor. No, actually I'm going to use this for now. So, what ships are you most interested in? Actually, you already said the... that's a good time to save. You obviously talked about the Vulture before. Let's start with the Vulture. Drake. Vulture. I would assume... Oh, there we go. Yeah, I assume... I always misjudge how big that actually is. The Vulture is a big ship. And so yes, I assume we can get in one. But you said 2 earlier, and I'm not sure we can fit 2 in here. That's already pretty, I mean, with the metal parts in the front there, that's already pretty tricky to have 1 in here. Not side by side. I think 1 Vulture is all you get. Sorry about that. But I guess 1 we can pretty much assume that it's going to fit. Let's try a slightly smaller drag ship. Let's try the new one. Oops, I have the cargo things disconnected. There we go. That's our golem. Oh, I think we can fit quite a small army of golems in here. well, 2 might already be a stretch. Maybe if you angle them, like if you turn them, I think if you turn them you can get them closer together and then you might have 6. I'm not going to say comfortably, but I think if you turn them like every second one and get these VTOLs like into these empty pockets here, I think 6 might be possible. We can take a better guess once I have the walls in, but that does not look too unrealistic. Again, I would more say like 4 for sure, and 6 if we are lucky. Does the golem fit in the galaxy? Yep. So we got that. Does it fit in expanse? Oh, I don't think I have the expanse model. I can try to get it later, maybe. Do you think the Endeavor will grow? Absolutely don't know. Absolutely don't know. Most likely it will grow, but the Endeavor is so old. I would not even be surprised if it gets completely redesigned, like the Pioneer. I mean, completely redesigned is maybe an overstatement, but the Pioneer was changed quite drastically. Not having this folding structure in the front and the... I don't know how to describe it. You've seen how the Pioneer changed, and I think the Endeavor will change the same. I think it's too early to make any assumptions. Well, or too late to make any assumptions. Too late from the concepting the original. Yeah, I can, of course, I can turn them for you. There you go. 6 golems. Unofficially confirmed. Do you have the Buccaneer? Yeah, I think I have that. Let me check in a second. Could you put a line or something to mark the size of the assault hangar? Actually, I'm not... Let me have a look. I don't actually have the blueprint for the assault hangar, but give me 1 second here. I'm sorry, I have to leave you with this boring image. And I try to, I try to get the blueprint for the assault. Next great starship. Okay, found it. Now I just have to check it's the same, the exact same format. Yeah, okay. Okay, so from my camera I can switch this out to... Oh, that's the wrong camera. This camera. There's your assault interior. And that wall lines up pretty perfect with this door here. Seems to be on the same axis for some reason. So I'm just going to use that. And then we can confirm afterwards if this line is on the same height. Okay, so you have to go for a second. But I need this height. So these floors. Have to move up just a touch. Okay, now that is accurate. And now we want this wall here. Would be around here somewhere, and then we can use the camera again and correct that a bit. So this is where the wall for the assault would be. I hope that is what you were asking. Honestly, looks amazing. Did you test the prospector? No, I have not. I can do the prospector next. Oh, actually, I have the Buccaneer on my list first, and then we can do the prospector. Looks like not only is the assault area smaller, but it looks like landing might be harder. A bit, yeah. Okay, now let's... Actually, I'm going to keep these. They might be interesting. And then we wanted to have the Buccaneer. Or do I have the Buccaneer? Actually, I'm not sure. Drake. No, I'm sorry, I don't have a Buccaneer right now. I would have to get that in between shows. But I assume... No, I'm not going to assume anything. I never had the model in my hand. And we are only going to work with facts here. So let's get the prospector in. Prospector, object. There we go. Okay, this prospector is unfortunately a bit messed up. There's some parts floating. Let's ignore that for now. You asked specifically about the height, and I mean size-wise, that should fit a lot better than the Ironclad did. No, actually I have to clean that up. So, technically should be better than the Vulture. I don't think we can fit 2 in here, even if I turn it. Might be, maybe you can cram 1 in here, but I don't think. I think it will fit 1 properly. And then height-wise, that was the question. I don't have the landing gear right now, but doesn't look too bad. No, actually, you can have a lot of landing gear, I think. I would say that should work perfectly. Have you heard about the Anvil Asgard, and does it interest you to model? I have heard about the Asgard. I have not heard what it is. I only heard this voice line where they say that it deploys the heavy hitters. But what does it mean? Does it mean soldiers? Does it mean tanks? Does it mean ships? No idea. If it's big, then I would be interested in modeling it. Like this one. Actually, it would need to be pretty cool to make me stop the Ironclad for a while, but depending on what it is, maybe I'll do the same as I did with the Anvil Paladin. Oh, I never can remember that name. The Paladin. I did the same. I modeled that on stream quickly for 1 or 2 days, and then I didn't finish it completely, like cleanly, properly, because I wanted to get a feel for it, and then I was happy. And maybe I'll do the same for the Asgard when it comes out. We'll see. Depends on what it is, really. If it really is a Valkyrie variant, which I've also heard, then I don't really want to do another one of those. But depends really on how cool it is. But if it's cool, I probably will be. So I'm going to miss the first 2 days of Invictus because I'm not home. But then I will be pretty much sitting here, and if that ship drops and it's cool, I will be online probably in the next minute and start what I'm doing right now. That's what I did with the Paladin, and that was pretty fun because we figured out together what parts are what and which pieces are wrong in the model and stuff like that. That was pretty interesting. So let's see what the Asgard is. If you have more information than me, then please let me know, but so far I don't really know what it's going to be. Ultimate pirate base? Absolutely, this is going to be the ultimate pirate base. It's going to, we talked about that last time, it's perfect for missions. It's the perfect playground for any kind of mission, infiltration mission, defending mission. Great content, thank you. Die Vanguard passt weder in die 890 noch in die Polaris. Wie ist es hier? Does the Vanguard fit? I don't have the Vanguard model either, but I'm going to try that. I love the Vanguard. That's one of my favorites, so I'm going to try that soon. Cutlass. Gonna be hard to justify putting a prospect in this thing over 2 or 3 golems. 2 or 3 golems, or maybe 6 golems. We just put 6 golems in here, and it, I mean, I can't confirm anything, but give me 1 second. This looks not completely unrealistic to me. Is there enough room in that middle parking area for the MPUV? What are you talking about? Are you talking about this middle parking area? Is that a joke, or am I not getting what you're asking? Because I think you can fit like 10 MPUVs in here. I'm afraid this thing will get destroyed pretty... Yeah, it's a freighter. It's not supposed to fight, unfortunately. I was hoping for a big Drake warship when I saw the thumbnail for the first time, but... well, it's a freighter. It should be vulnerable without support. The majority believe the Asgard to be a Hercules competitor, or around that size, with other speculating it could be the size of the Kraken. Oh, really? I've heard the comparisons to the Hercules too, because it's also deploys the heavy hitter tanks, but as far as I know, there is no proof of any of that. And I have also heard people saying it's just a Valkyrie variant deploying heavy soldiers, basically. So we'll see. I hope it's C2 sized or bigger. No, sorry, the small area where the... oh, where they have the molds in the back here. That's a good question, actually. I can't tell you yet, because I don't have the ceiling for that area yet. I'm going to build that, I don't want to say soon, but sometime in the future. Not too soon. And then I might be able to check that, but the question is if where they had the 2 molds here, if we can put an MPUV back there. I mean, it looks like it, because there's a Nova tank in here at the same... no, that's not a complete Nova tank, but... actually, there is a complete Nova tank in here with the top taken off, so I'm pretty sure you can squeeze an MPUV in there too. But I'll confirm that once I have the room built for the back. Okay, Cutlass. Yeah, you asked about the Cutlass many times now. Question is, do I have a Cutlass? Drake. Cutter. No, I only have a cutter. Drake Kraken. I don't have that, unfortunately. And I also don't have the Vanguard. No. Okay, you know what? You bear with me. I leave you with this boring standing image for a few seconds. And I'm going to get some of the ships that you requested because I'll need them anyway. So I have the Vanguard on my list. And I have the... Actually, I'm going to write down. So I need the Vanguard. I need the Buccaneer. And I need the Cutty. Let me grab those for you. Sorry, this is going to take a minute. Okay, I have the Cutlass. Then we need the Buccaneer. Thanks for standing by. I know this is annoying and I should have prepared all the ships, but my collection is growing every day. Okay, there's the Buccaneer. And the Vanguard. Any more? Any that I missed that you want to see? Vanguard, Vanguard, where are you? Do you have a Zeus? No, I don't have a Zeus, but I want one. Let's add that to the list. There's the Vanguard. Okay, and now I only need the Zeus. The Eclipse. Actually, I think the Eclipse might be too big. Herald. That's a good one. Okay, you know what, let's do these 4 for now. And then I'm going to get more in between shows. Because I don't want to keep you waiting forever. Okay, now I have to convert them. Now I have to add them to the library. And then we are good. Okay, thank you for your patience. We all play Star Citizen, we are used to waiting forever. How many pulses do... many pulses. I mean, that's fun, we can do that in a second. But let's start with the ones that we have here now. Have you ever participated to Polish animation event? If yes, what did you make? If no, you should try it one day. It's super cool and you have the talent for it. No, what is it? What? Oh! I know, you mean Punisher from Corridor. Is that what you mean? His animation contest that he does? Ironclad. Reference. Yeah, that's him. No, I have never. To be honest, I have not really paying attention to his or the Corridor work. They have obviously inspired me to do what I'm doing many years ago. But then I specialized into one area and they never really did, and at some point I outlearned them in their visual effects stuff and I worked on bigger stuff, and then I stopped watching it, unfortunately, but I still think they are pretty cool. Even though I have a funny story. Let me get that in here first. Let's start with the Buccaneer. So these are always, usually they are at 10% scale. Let's see if that is true for this one. Drake. Buccaneer. That has a length of 15 meters. And so this model is 14.7. That's pretty good. So there's your Buccaneer and your Buccaneer. Fits too comfortably. Might fit 3. with a bit of, you know, arranging and stuff. A small fun little side story. If you know Punisher and you probably know Corridor, you probably know their VFX artist reacts to stuff where they talk about movies and stuff. And I once worked on a show that they covered, and they really shat on the whole thing and said that it's all terribly made and that the CG looks just fake and that's just not how stuff works. And everything they talked about was real and practical and shot in real life, and people at my work got really angry about them because they obviously had no idea what they were talking about. But it's still entertaining to watch, for sure. And generally I think they have a pretty good idea what they're talking about, but sometimes they just take guesses and make entertaining content rather than high-end content. And that's fine. So if you turn them like this, maybe, there's too many steel beams here that I'm not sure about. Maybe you can get a fourth one in here, but not sure. I would have to rebuild those things first. Oh no, I have bots on Twitch in my chat. I'm sorry, I have to do something about that at some point. Okay, next let's take the... Where are you? The cutlass. And that is already a challenging fit. Ooh, that might actually not fit at all. I mean, to me it... No, actually we don't have the walls in yet. No, I don't think it will fit. Looks like it's a bit too wide. And maybe also too high. Looks also too high. No, I'm sorry. Does not look like this one is going to fit. And if that's the case, then I think the Vanguard is pretty much the same size. Obviously this is with the wings not folded, but they are not folding that far. I mean, No, probably not. I was just saying if these wings fold back, maybe you can like wiggle it inside here. But I would really not count on it. And again, it looks too high. I can't remember if these fold a bit too, but that's the closest fit. Sorry, I think. I can make a better guess once I have the walls in, but... And I have another look at what folds and what doesn't on this one, but I think these are static and that means it's pretty tough. Nose against the direction you sell. I think the issue is the same. I mean, yeah, sure, you can get the nose quite far in. But I think the bigger problem is the height here. With landing gear, this will probably obstruct with the roof section. Even though it would be pretty cool to have it, right? It's one of my favorite fighters. This only works if the tractor beam rails can be moved. Yeah, they can be moved for sure. They, oh, sorry, I closed the image viewer. But there are different... Do you think a javelin... I think the javelin can fit in here. If you scale it all the way down. A lot of people seem to be overestimating this thing. Yeah, I agree. It's big, but it's not that big. We put it next to the caterpillar last video, and it's not that much bigger than a caterpillar. Obviously, it's wider, but it's not completely as big as I expected. But I still think you can fit some good... Like, the golems in here are very useful. Actually, there was another one that we got here. Oh, the Zeus. Oh, doesn't look too good, I'm afraid. Okay, this again would have to be turned. And I know that these wings fold up, but I don't think so. I think that's too close. Even if these fold, I think the wall will be too close here. Because as far as I don't know yet, I have to finish that, but I don't think this is the wall from the inside. I think that's the outside hull only. Yeah, does not... Oh, is it? That's hard to say. I have to figure that out, but it will definitely be not as... There will be a lot of obstructions in between, like metal beams and stuff, so I think the Zeus... Another no. I mean, look at it. It's almost a third of the size of the whole thing. Okay, I have not gotten the Herald yet, but since you asked so many times and I need it anyway for something else, let's get the Herald in there too. Just joined, so I could have missed it. No, we actually didn't talk about many fighters, just the heavy Vanguard that probably won't fit. I can try the Gladius in just a second. I have that here. And now I have the Herald for you. Oh. Where is it? There's the Drake Herald. Oh, that's tiny. Is that correct? How long is the herald supposed to be? I mean, so far the models were always accurate, but 23.5 meters. Oh, 27. Oh no, actually that's incorrect. Actually, that's more like 30. Oh, that's still... Oh. Nope. It's not snapping what it's supposed to snap. $22. Okay, that is the correct size. I mean, with a Herald, I'm not sure if you need two. Does it make sense to have two data runners? Because you could have two. If that is what you wanted to know, I think that's another easy, comfortable fit. Oh, too tall. Oh, is it too tall? It might be too tall, yeah. Let's actually get our... Oh, yeah, there you go. There's your top cut off. Oh, I'm sorry about that. That's so close. But the Herald is... I heard it's going to get redesigned, so maybe you'll be lucky and they shave off a few, like half a meter. Sorry. Yeah, okay, fighters. I don't have many, I think, but I have the Gladius, yeah. So, one, obviously. I'm sorry, that model is a bit messed up. Because it's trying to load in the textures, but this is the game model, so it at least is very nicely detailed. Let's see if we can get a few more of them. Yeah, I mean, we always have to take into account that there will be beams everywhere. And we noticed earlier that the floor is not completely even. there are these weird plates and rails and there's stuff everywhere, but still I would say 2 Gladii are possible. Not saying it's absolutely possible, but it's doesn't look too unrealistic. Oh yeah, oh, we don't have the catwalks, and the catwalks will be a big problem space-wise. That might actually change quite a few of the predictions we talked about. Yeah, we shouldn't put too many more ships in here. We should wait 1 or 2 episodes until I finish the catwalks and stuff. Mehrzahl Gladius is Gladius. No, it's Gladii. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I'm not going to put any more until we have more detailed interior, because I think especially the catwalks will change quite a bit. There's only one thing that I want to try because it's so fun. Hull A. That makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to try that one. Then I'm going to stop. I think I have the Hull A. Yes, I do. Oh, I think your requests melted my PC. Nope. Hull A. 1 for sure. Oh, it's also pretty high, isn't it? No, actually. Again, unfortunately, no landing gear again, but no, I think this will be another height problem. This looks like it's going to intersect with the roof already. That's a shame. That would be a pretty useful addition. Sorry. I think the Hull A is too tall, unless you park it sideways. The Pisces. I can do the Pisces too. I would think more than 2. Pisces. I don't know if the catwalks are inboard or extend into the... I think they extend into the opening. There's your Pisces. This one has landing gear. And it's also definitely flat enough. And you said 2, right? More like 6, maybe 9. I would guess you can put a lot of Pisces in here. I think you can. So, no, there's the wall in the way, so maybe it's 4 only, but 4 is more than 2. The model is smashing 2 hull A's together. Yeah, that's the that was the collision geometry, but it's not that big of a change. I still think it's too high. Oh, Grim is here. Lurking again, to use your own words. An Ironclad max. I mean, can still happen, right? Even though so far for the most issues we had is height-wise, I would say. Grim, even if you're working, maybe you're so much deeper in this than I am. I had an issue earlier. I was looking at a Corsair, and the Corsair is, according to the model, 46 meters. But the website says 55. That's quite a big difference. Do you have any idea how big the Corsair really is and why there is a discrepancy between the two? So yeah, Prospector we fit earlier, and Pisces we fit 4. Again, we don't have the catwalks in, so everything I say now is obviously not final or anything, but it looks like the Prospector looks pretty comfortable. I looked at both models. No, here, sorry. Here we used holoviewers. I'm talking to Grim about the Corsair. This is a different topic. I don't have that in here. I wanted to get the door out of the Corsair. That's the door that we are using here throughout the ship. And if I use the Corsair with the measurements the object has, then this door is just a touch over 2 meters high, which looks good. If I use the metrics from the website, where it's 55 meters long, then this door is closer to 2.5, almost 3 meters high, and that's weird. Or the interior is also wrong, but yeah, something about that was a bit sketchy. Okay, there's one more thing I wanted to try. Okay, let's get a bit silly with this one here. Good enough. Don't need the engine stuff. So let's end this with one of the slightly sillier questions. How many pulses can this thing fit? And I think the answer is all of them. Ironclad merchant with 600 pulses. Actually, I think we might be able to get more than 600 in here. Let's see. Because I already had 500 or something in the galaxy. So that's 2, 3. Please don't die. Okay, let's go with the sure one and say it's 8 in width. If you ever wanted to see a computer melt live on stream, catch on fire and then melt, then this is the right one. The catwalks don't take any space from the floor. They are in line with the bulkhead's curve when it meets the floor. Yeah, I agree. But what I meant earlier is that they will be in the way for some of the wings and stuff that we put in here. What's your specs doesn't matter. This will kill Blender independent of what your rig is. I have a 5070 Ti and 32 gigs. Oh, actually my RAM is on its limit. That might be a limiting factor right now. Maybe some RAM would speed this up, actually. That's why it's taken so long. Okay, this shouldn't be that hard, actually. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this scene. And reopen the scene. And that might get rid of some of the junk that we have accumulated. Grim says that the holoviewer model is 48 meter-ish, but it's the old model. The flight-ready game file is 52. Oh, okay, that's the issue. I'm sure I have the old one flying around. Fair enough. Okay, that then answers my questions perfectly. But this, I mean, the important part for me is that at 48-ish meters, my Corsair, even if it's the old one, is at the right scale, and then I can use the doors. Okay, thanks a lot, Grim, that actually answered everything. Okay, see, so we just cleaned up 10 gigs, and that means we can now put at least a handful more of these. It looks like I need some more RAM to answer these questions, I'm afraid. Yeah, a ton of pulses are a wave, that's true. No, there's one more trick I can try once it catches itself. No, I'm going to kill it. Give me 1 second. I mean, these are just instances. It should not be too hard for him to put these hardware-wise. But apparently it is. I don't remember how I did that on the Galaxy, because the model is pretty taxing too. And it was even my old GPU. Same RAM, same everything, so I don't know how I did that back then. But I had, I mean, if you've seen the video, I had something like 500-ish in there. Okay, we'll be back in just a second. Okay, sorry about that hiccup. No, this is just the ground plane of the Ironclad and all the rest removed. Let's see if that helps. It's still too imperformant. We'll have to go with the boxes. This is a pulse-sized box. We already established we can have 8 on that axis. And now finally so that's 16, 32, no actually 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 265, 265, and maybe half again. So that's 300 and something. $384. And then here another, I don't know. So to answer the question, maybe 400 something-ish pulses. I'm actually surprised that's not much more than in the galaxy. What did I do to fit so many? Sorry, not enough. Not enough. You cannot bring enough pulses for every player on the server, unfortunately. This is just sad. Yeah, chip is basically useless. We need a new name for it. The Iron Disappointment. Yeah, shame. Sorry about that. But, so much junk here. At least today we got the the ground floor working. That's something. And on foot, I think this already is quite impressive. But as we just saw, it's the Ironclad. Yeah, thank you. It's the Ironclad. I think there's still pretty impressive space in here, especially if I bring in the walls. Oh no, I just removed them. If you bring in the walls, I think it will be a super impressive space, even though if it's not as big as we might have hoped. But I already like the layout with all these doors everywhere and stairs everywhere. So I'm super excited to build the rest. This obviously only is the start. And I think that's going to be where I wrap it up for today. Yeah, thank you very much for your patience, especially when it came to getting in all these models. I have them now, so next time it will be a bit easier. Once we have the catwalks in, we probably have to do them all again. Alternate, if you want to mess around with Blender, do it. Do it, it's free, just get learning, it's fun. And thank you for joining, thank you for helping, thank you for waiting, thank you for being patient. And I think that's it. Thank you very much. Oh, before I say see you in the verse, one more reminder: Friday, no, actually Saturday, 0 a.m. on my time. I don't know the American time zones. Friday to Saturday, whatever your time zone that is, I will be on the Inforunner show with Grim together to talk about chips. Maybe if you catch that, we'll be just talking 3 hours straight. That's what Execute told me. We'll see. Let's see. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. See you in the verse. See you soon. Bye bye.